Hi all, today we will discuss about Netflix component. Like if I'm creating any microservices, then we have a multi-layer or multiple microservices are there. So in that, how we will communicate, how we will request and response from one to another. So what are the Netflix component we used or Spring Cloud component for the respective microservices and how many business process will be work. So the see this image here, we have the client which will be send the request to the server. So while he want to send the request, in between we have a ELB, that is called elastic load balancer. So that will be taken care the request, and then and others we have a other open connect and all, so that they will send the request and ELB will take the request, and then according to that we'll have a NITI server. Either we have a Tomcat, NITI, another server, so which will be there in between. So whatever the ELB details will come, that will go for the server, and the server will be redirected for the request of the particular endpoint filter. So based on that, suppose if you have a API filters will be there. So suppose you want to fetch the details from the employee or not. So that cases we have a multiple endpoint filters will be there in the controller. So through that it will come for this endpoint filter, and they know like, oh, this service is related for which microservices and all. Then it will go for the circuit break history. So that will be taken care of the circuit breakers, where what will happen in this circuit breaker, if microservice is not responding or something will happen, in that cases they will fallback method will call in that cases. So see in this layer of histories, after that they will call service client. So the service client or EV caching. So this based on this will be called from this respective microservices. Either we have a critical service microservices or maybe other microservices. So some of the microservices will have a different database, either Cassandra or something. So this is critical microservices will have a MySQL billing info, which will be communicate with the SQL database and to send the billing information. Suppose if you want a particular respective bills for the particular employee and all, in that cases we'll go for this. Other microservices which have a video streaming or validating transcoding. So what will happen, this microservice will call this new video validating transcoding, and there we have how this will be validated, because we have huge number of videos transcoding details will be there, this information. So they have queue, so that either Kafka and all will be integrated here, and based on the queue we have a concurrent and sync worker will be there. So in AWS we have the services which we have to use, and based on that we have to validate trans encoding, and then that will be sent to the particular microservices. Other we have a Chuka. So Chuka will sync, and then we'll go for this S3, AWS S3 is a storage, and after that we'll go for this Amazon AMR, manage Hadoop framework. So that way this is the requirement of business which we have follow, and again Chuka will communicate with this Kafka and messaging router, and then Kafka event will be called, and after that Elasticsearch or Spark, whatever the business requirement which will be called. So based on that they will take the details and it will go for the particular microservice. Service will go for the histories again or the particular endpoint, and through that they will have a response. So response will be outbounded filter, that will be go for the outbound filter, and then response will go for the ELB, and then client will get the response like that. So this is the architectures where we are following Netflix component. It's a histories, NetEase servers, ELB, and then client, and then we have others AWS services and all, Kafka and all, so Cassandra and all, and the disk cases and all. So these things we have in component. Yeah, so this all.